Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, we'll talk with Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell about the possibility of new police headquarters in the city. Dukes of Hazzard star John Schneider has some advice for aspiring young actors, and we'll get an update about the Tullahoma City school system and how it's improving the use of technology. And the Manchester Arts Center Classic Country Show is opening up this weekend. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Tax time is here and it's the perfect time to buy a vehicle, but you're not sure where to go because of poor credit health? Come see me, Dr. Credit, and the rest of the team here at Russell Barnett Kia. But don't take it from me. Here's a few of our satisfied customers and what they had to say.
He did everything and anything he could possibly do to help me.
Dr. Credit was very helpful in getting me a vehicle that I could afford.
Everything he explained to us was amazing. I would recommend him to anybody and everybody.
Dr. Credit helped very, very much.
Schedule your appointment with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia so you can drive away happy.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Plans are moving ahead to build a new police headquarters in Tullahoma. Police Chief Paul Blackwell stopped by our studios to share some details on the project. I understand that there's a good possibility that we might be building a new police headquarters in Tullahoma.
Yes, the mayor just recently did his budget presentation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and in that budget presentation he did mention that he is hoping to get a loan for some capital improvements, and part of the capital improvements would be a new police department, along with some other projects built into that loan. It's already passed the first reading, the budget, so there's 2 more readings. We're keeping our fingers crossed that it passes all 3 of the...
It passed the first reading unanimously.
Unanimously.
So that's a good sign.
Yes, that's a good sign. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that it does the same on the next 2 readings, which will be next week and the week after. And if that does occur, then we can start moving forward. But through a very gracious donation of a piece of land by the Markhams, Dan and Fran Markham, it's going, we know where we can put it. All we have to do now is get the approval to go ahead and start the rest of the process.
This is something that I'm guessing is badly needed. That police department has been there since I was a kid.
1955.
Yeah.
It is. It was built in 1955 as a combined fire hall, police station, and jail. And currently we have about 5,200 square feet. So years ago, that's what was shared by the police and fire. At the time, the police only had 12 police officers. Now we've grown to 37, so we've almost tripled in size.
Plus the population of Tullahoma is significantly
We're at about 19,100 now.
Right.
So over the years, the fire hall moved out and the police got the rest of the building. The jail stayed upstairs as the jail, and over the years we've quit using it as a jail and we just use it as storage. So basically there's been no room for growth. As our numbers increased, there was very little room for that addition. So we're hoping that in a new facility we can have about 10,000 square feet, almost double what we have. And we believe that will take us 20 years out to where we think we'll be as a community and as a police department in 20 years.
Are you able to say at this point where it will actually be located?
Yes, it's if you're familiar with the police department, as you're standing on Grundy Street looking at the police department, to your right there's that big vacant field where the USO building used to be.
That, yes.
That's the piece of land that the Markhams are going to donate to the city.
Okay.
So it's going to take a good architect to design how to do the footprint, and right now we're just, as I said, waiting for the approval from the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, approve the budget, and then we'll get some preliminary work done on the land to see if suitability, what has to be done to the land. and then we'll start asking for qualifications from architects. Once they're selected, then we'll look for qualification from contractors, and then let the building begin.
You've done quite a bit of work, I think, just sort of planning what you need.
The planning, yes. Obviously, about 10,000 square feet is what, I don't want to say what we believe is what will suit us, and that's going to include expansion in 20 years, additional office space and storage space, things of that nature. But what a new facility will look for is a larger lobby when you walk in, the hygiene features for the public when they come in, a restroom, and that's just when you walk in the door, so that's got to change. Office space, we have enough office space right now for the people we have. It's cramped, they have no storage, and if we were to get one more person that was a headquarters type person, we wouldn't have anywhere to put them. So we're looking for additional office space. I'd like to see included a community room, a large room, maybe about the size of our boardroom that we have now.
Right.
That we can use for either police training, so we can have other agencies come in, or to make it a community room, so if we had a city program of some sort, and we could, thinking about how we could open it up to some other groups, but a community room where we could use it.
You probably need space to interrogate people.
We do.
Or to interview people, or that
and that's very important, is the interview and interrogation of either victims or suspects. Right now, we have one small room, and it's not conducive to good interviews or good interrogations. So we would improve on that, and to make them soundproof. Of course, there's some other things that you would put into your interview room, camera systems and things of that nature.
So if all goes well and it passes 2 more readings, and what sort of time frame do you think we're looking at here?
I think probably 2 years is probably the least. And of course, we always know how things could get expanded, but I would hope that hopefully, if everything moves quickly, that we could start seeing construction next year, and then depending on the weather and the contractor and everything, maybe early part of 19.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's exciting, just to be able to see it coming out of the ground.
Absolutely, I know it is.
Is going to make a lot of people know that, hey, it's occurring.
We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
Have you ever been involved in one of these? And you need one of these? Then look no further than the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center, with a state-of-the-art facility, aluminum capabilities, lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett auto rental, claims assistance from start to finish. We are here to serve you. So stop by and let us show you why we are #1, the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community, because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. Dukes of Hazzard star John Snyder and Tom Wopat held a press conference last Friday afternoon prior to the signing autographs at the Southern Wheels in Motion Car Show on Saturday. In this video clip, John Snyder offers advice to aspiring actors.
What would your advice be to someone who's looking to break into one of those
Don't
industries?
do it.
Don't do it and do it.
Do it. Well, if I can say don't do it and they won't do it, that means they didn't want to do it that much.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, you got to have a real flaming desire to do that sort of thing. I mean, you got to look. We're in the top 1% of success in this business, and we still scramble a little now and then.
Put ourselves on tape on our phone and all that kind of crazy stuff.
It's hard.
It's just pisses me off.
And it's not easy on your personal life either. I got 5 kids, none of them ever lived with me. And, you know, not because I didn't want them to, but their moms didn't want them to. They're all great kids. They all get along. They all know each other. I don't want to make this sound like I'm an absent father, because I'm not.
No, he's not an absent father.
But it's hard on your personal life. This kind of business it's pretty crappy, mostly. I mean, the business is crappy. What I'd say to kids, to people is, like, if I'm going to get paid $5,000 to go and do a movie or something, I'm getting paid to get on the plane, get in the car, go to the motel, eat the crappy food, sit around on the set. When I'm doing the work, I'll do that for nothing.
Yeah.
And the same way with music. You know, I'll do the performance stuff for nothing. Anytime, every time.
Who was that said they pay you to wait?
I don't know.
Michael Caine or something.
Is that right?
Yeah,
well, that's the way I look at it.
I like that.
It helps.
yeah.
You know, another case is like you doing voiceovers. You might do 200 auditions a year and get two gigs out of it. Okay, so you're looking at it like, okay, well, I make $60,000 from 2 gigs. So that's pretty good. Now you're also thinking, okay, I'd go 198 times, I don't get shit for that.
Yeah.
But if you look at it like $60,000 for 200 times, that's $300 an audition.
Yeah.
That's pretty good pay.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep it in perspective.
That's why he wasn't 12.
John, you mentioned Alicia a couple times today. Is that a partner of yours? Or?
Yes, she's out there.
Oh, okay.
She's the brains of the outfit.
She is absolutely the brains of the outfit.
Yeah, okay.
I've always wanted to make
in your
movies.
production company?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I always wanted to make movies, always, from the time I was 8. Always written. I wrote and directed the last episode of Dukes. Hopefully that wasn't why. I thought it was pretty good. But I never had until I met her, I never had anybody that also is a producer that believes we can do this. You know, until then I was depending upon the blessings of others. And whenever you depend upon the blessings of others, someone doesn't bless your dream. You have to bless your dream. You have to go for it. If your dream is dependent upon someone else saying okay, then it's going to be a rough road. You'd be very fortunate to get anywhere in that business model, regardless of what it is that you want to do. You have to be willing to throw every bit of logic aside and go for it. I believe we're designed to do something, and I do because it hit me when I was about 8. I believe that we were in touch with our design and our passion when we were very little, and then people who hated us, and even worse, people who love us, try to talk us out of it because they don't want us to be hurt by failure, which is the worst thing you can do to somebody. If you are pursuing what you know you're supposed to be doing, failure doesn't hurt. You get it like calluses when you play the guitar a lot. Failure is something that pushes you toward the next thing, makes you try a different way, makes you try harder. What is the thing about Edison? How many light bulbs before he finally came up with the one that worked? You just have to go for it and go for it and go for it. So if you want to be an actor, an actress, a producer, a lawyer, a fireman, whatever. My daughter is a firefighter in Oxnard. Whatever it is you want to be, you have to be willing to not only do it for very little money, but pay to be able to do it. If you won't pay to be able to do what you say you love, then you probably don't love it. So you've just got to go for it with everything you have, because you've got one design, you've got one life to pursue it with, one goal, one dream. And I do believe that the world is set up to try to steal you from that, or steal that from you.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up after these messages.
It's not Invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. Tom Corrington spoke recently with Dr. Dan Lawson and Susan Sudbury from the Tullahoma City School System about progress of improving technology within the system.
We have Dr. Dan Lawson with us, and he brought along his technology expert, Susan Sudbury, and so we're kind of going to lean on Susan. I can remind you that Tullahoma has been into the technology approach to education now for 3 years or better, and so we want to see how that's working and whether it's working. And then she has a significant event coming up that we're going to be hosting this summer. So, Susan, just however you want to approach this, just bring everybody up to date on what the Tullahoma school system looks like from a technology standpoint.
In 2013, our district looked at implementing a one-to-one device initiative for students in grades 3 through 12. We also began a process of curating and developing open educational resources in social studies.
What does that mean?
That means that we can go out on the internet and we can look for quality, rigorous materials that we can take, download, we can edit those materials, we can share those materials, we can distribute, we can add to, take away, and we're not violating any type of copyright law because of the license that has been attributed to those types of materials. So while our teachers in years past, even when I was in the classroom, would gather materials and store them in a filing cabinet, we can now search for those materials online and form our own digital file locker of those materials and then deliver those to our students in a digital environment.
Digital environment. Are you out of the book business?
No, we're not out of the book business. I still like the feel of paper when I'm on the beach reading a book, but no, we're not out of the book business. There are some books that we can't replace with an open educational resource such as your AutoCAD book, but we can in some subject areas such as your math or your social studies and somewhat in your English and your science. But with these materials, we can easily update those that content so that you're actually giving students a living document. You know, if something happens in the science world or the social studies world with the election of a new president or the Curiosity rover landing, we can instantly update the materials for our students so they're not relying on a textbook that was published 7 years prior and are still being used in the classroom today. So that's an advantage that we have with these open educational resources.
And what do you say if if I come along and say, well, cripes, if every teacher has the ability to just develop her own material, what sort of standard is being used out there? Is this everybody going in their own direction?
That's a great question. Yeah, I couldn't shut up long, could I? That's a great question in that everything that we have developed, everything that's done under our auspices is built around the state standards. So the state standards, if you will, serve as that table of contents, as that index of those topics to be included, and then our teachers are tasked, our curators are tasked with finding content connected with those particular standards and make that content align with the people, places, and things that our kids understand. So if we have a social studies dialogue that talks about a mayor of a city, it's really nice to have our textbook with a picture of perhaps a third grade student and Mayor Curley there, or a discussion of a a state senator. We've got Senator Bowling in our stuff rather than some nebulous concept and name that our folks don't get. And Susan, I'll shut up because I talk too much.
You did that well.
Susan, how does this work in the classroom? What's taking place?
That's a great question. Our teachers have access to something called a learning management system, and that is basically a digital platform that they can organize and manage the resources within their instructional environment. So they can deliver these open educational resources via that platform. But we all know that students may bring their device to school and that device may not be charged, or the device may be in for repair. So the beauty of what we're doing is the fact that all of those resources can be downloaded and printed and handed to a student in a paper form. So they're not left behind because they don't necessarily have that device with them that day. So everything that we're doing can not only be housed in the digital environment, but it also can be housed in a static environment as well.
We'll be right back in a moment.
They said, well, I got you approved for it. All you got to do is go drive it and tell me you want it. We can do the papers today. And I walked out of here with pretty much a brand new vehicle.
I would recommend Dr. Credit to anybody.
If you don't think that you can get a car, come see these guys. They are amazing and they can find you what you're looking for. If they could do it with me, they can definitely work a miracle for you.
I would recommend them to anybody and everybody.
Schedule your appointment with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia so you can drive away happy.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. The Manchester Arts Center will be presenting a classic country show this weekend. Peggy Burton brings us this story.
I am excited today to have with me Cliff Roberts from the Manchester Arts Center and oldies.
That's
classic
right.
Oldies, classic
country show.
I think that's got to be a great show. Jason Petty is
Yeah,
he
he's
kind of a
gonna-
headliner in there?
No, he's just one of the
troops.
team. Yeah, it's the way it is.
And Jason's a team player, and I'm so proud
he's a
of
good
him.
fellow, really talented, and he does his Hank shows. You know, he's coming up with a Hank show in Woodbury pretty soon, I think. Yeah.
Good.
And he travels around everywhere doing that, even up into Canada.
Yeah.
So.
Your show opens this weekend.
Yes,
is that right?
Thursday night. Yeah.
And you go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee?
Right. We're doing 7 o'clock shows at night, and then Sunday afternoon is 2 o'clock.
And if we could get on the number 931-570-4489 and the website, I'm sure getting tickets on the website
That's a lot easier.
is a good idea.
MillenniumRep.org is the website. You go
Right.
in there and you can pick your seats.
I gave the wrong number. No, I didn't. That's right.
No,
I'm sorry.
that's right.
It looked different. I don't see that well. Anyway, how many's in the group now?
Oh my goodness, it's just hard to. Well, there's Jamie Harden, which is his show, and he does all the.
He does the directing and writing.
the headache stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's his wife Becky Harden, and Carrie Kuroff, Todd Green, Karen Wainwright, Annie Clements, Lori Berger. Of course, Jason Petty's with us, and the band, we've got new people in the band, Jesse Hanks, Jeff Haley, Susan Green, Jared Strike, Joe Miracle, and special guest is fiddle player Mark Baczynski that plays with Jason Petty all the time. And
that's fair.
really
Where's he
good.
from? Maybe the Nashville area?
Cornersville, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some old stuff, like George Jones, Waylon Jennings,
Merle
Haggard, yeah, and of course Conway Twitty. You got to have some Conway in there, yeah, and some Johnny Cash and some Jim Reeves and stuff.
And I guess some Hank.
Oh yes, of course.
Especially
Hank.
with
You got
Jason.
Jason Petty.
You gotta do some Hank.
He is Hank.
I think that there's a lot of us that love the classic country.
Yes.
And because we've watched country music evolve into a whole different
Oh yeah,
thing.
that's right.
And I enjoy when I watch a show that has country music, I enjoy seeing something where I can understand the words.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
see their face without the flashing lights.
Oh, yes,
And
yeah.
so I think it's a unique idea and a great idea to do a classic country show.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the modern country, it's like what Southern rock used to be.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of evolved more into that. That's just my opinion. But you know, most people that come to our shows, they remember this era of music
Right.
better anyway.
All right, this is coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee. And
Right.
then after, it starts at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And remember, that's how you get tickets. And honestly, I know your tickets sell out really fast.
They usually do. The Thursday night show would be one that you could more than likely get tickets for. I think the Saturday night show's pretty much sold out. I'm not sure about the rest of the shows. But if you go online, you can tell it shows the theater and the seats, and you can pick your seats. You know, and this is a fundraiser for the Art Center in Manchester too. So it helps them. And
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks
for coming.
Thanks for having
It's
me.
always great to see you.
The pet of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a beagle named Droopy. He entered the shelter as a stray and is approximately 6 years old. Droopy is up to date on his vaccinations, weighs 29 pounds, heartworm negative, and good with other dogs and children. Be sure to check out the shelter on Facebook for information about upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pet this week is Blue. Blue is a terrier mix who needs a loving home with room to run. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made to the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252 in Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up in a moment.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage Program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades, and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1933 at 98 degrees. The record low was in 1992 at 47 degrees. And the average high on this day is 87. The average low is 64. It's going to be kind of a wet weekend, as you'll see. Storms in the forecast for tonight with a low of around 70. Storms in the forecast again for Friday with a high of 79 and a low of 67. A 30% chance of storms on Saturday with a high of 80 and a low of 61. That's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on Newsleader 6, wishes you and your families a fantastic weekend. Thank you.
The average high on this day is 87 and the average low is 65. Chance of overnight showers tonight with a low expected around 61. Partly cloudy weather for Sunday with a high of 80 and a low of 60. Partly cloudy weather again in the forecast for Monday with a high of 78 and a low of 59. And mostly sunny weather expected on Tuesday with a high of 76 and a low of 57.